A lot of hip hop media, you do want rappers and artists or whatever the case may be. You want to have media sometimes to answer for them and stuff like that. But can I trust you to give me the correct opinion
without the artists themselves?
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like, is Schoolboy Q album the best hip hop album right now? Like you was expressing. Like, tell me that
and tell me why. What did it matter
tell
to
me,
you?
Yeah, like what are we doing here? You know what I mean? It seems like everybody's just taking that either the quick pay for the quick write up or something like you feel like isn't true. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's just all over the place. Like, I feel like if they do start going truthful and stuff like that, then I feel like, a lot of be lost there too. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of be lost there if in hip hop media. So I think people are just all over the place taking the money and just worrying about what social media says overall. So but if you was really worried about it, every hip hop outlet right now should be, all right, this number one. And
you think everybody should like make a list and give an
like
opinion?
Tell me what's going on and tell me why, like, and express it like you know what I mean? Express it, tell me why, like, and it's nothing there. You know what I mean? Just dropping shit.
What list really matters? Cause I see like all these complex lists. What list really matters in hip hop right now?
The loudest voice.
Like, which one matters?
Oh, I'm saying, I feel like complex. Well, you ask. I guess you go say complex because I'm talking about it.
I'm saying to you, not saying what the public think. I'm saying to you.
I'm saying, but they influence made me care about it because we talking about it now, and I done talked about it a couple of times already. I didn't care before, but their voice, their influence, making you talk about it. So I feel like they got to be right now, maybe this season, the most important.
I mean, okay, let me break it down because, like, does it really matter to you though, or is it just in the moment? What I'm saying is like, XXL used to be a thing, right? Like, it used to be a thing. Like, I'm saying it's still a thing, but it wasn't what it was. Mm-hmm. It was like niggas wanted to work their ass off, like new artists to make that list, bro. So they would work their ass off, cause nigga, like even now, are we working our ass off to make a certain list? Are you?
No.
So that's what I'm saying. What list matters to you to where you like, I gotta be on that? Is there one?
No,
me in the industry now, and I be feeling like that shit not credible. Like I said, they just taking money. So if I know XYZ is on it, I know Universal, Interscope, and such gave them some money, or they got the connect to have them on there.
Well, yeah, but that's the reason why we pay money for like post and shit too, though, because it's still more. That's why I said the loudest voice. It's like it don't matter to me, but if the loudest voice is the loudest voice, we in this market share to be this loudest voice. We're not sitting down right here to be the quietest voice. We're trying to be the loudest voice regardless.
So it just can't be one list. It can't be just one anything. But the loudest voice is going to be the most like popular people in media. So like, what if Joe gave me a list and Act gave me a list, Charlamagne gave me a list. And now we comparing all of those lists.
Let's see how I travel now.
Yeah, now we seeing how I travel. Not just listening to just one list and looking at one list of anything. Like, hell no, we can't do that right now.
It's gonna seem like everybody copied in the second though, because that's where we're going. Like in the seconds, like because you gotta think about topics. Like it's why only certain podcasts stand out because they know how to step out of the typical topics. But for the most part, people running the same topics and who got the best takes and everything.
Angles.
Do you ever express to like DJ Head, the problems with West Coast music? And why it hasn't been traveling to these other regions like it should be?
Well, I did. We talked about last week on The Bigger Picture about the bias that exists within LA because, for example, like YG, I think is a great example of somebody who's a superstar in LA and maybe just a star outside of LA. Not to say that he's not extremely successful or that his hits wouldn't ring off anywhere in the world, but there's a very specific type of LA artist that you hear in clubs here, you hear while you're driving, you hear at parties, that if I were to go back to Toronto, for example, or if I were to go to New York, YG might not hit the same, Blast might not hit the same because the environment matters, the city matters. The PCH view while you're listening matters. So I don't think it's anything to do with necessarily anything wrong with the music. It's just, it is what it is versus the same thing of like, why Chicago drill would hit specifically in Chicago or why, Jersey club music would hit in Jersey a little more than it would in other places.
Yeah, but see here in our clubs, like we play everybody music. Everywhere else, nah. They not playing us. They not playing the fucking the Zoe Osama or no shit like that. They won't give us any of that. But us in our clubs or whatever the case may be, whatever parties, we're not shy to play anybody else's music, whether if it's Detroit, Atlanta, New York. You know, it's just like why isn't our music traveling? You know,
why do you think? Like,
states?
do you think there's something specific about the music?
I think a lot of people just don't know. It's like they don't know what we're talking about sometimes. We don't have nothing in common with a lot of people in our lingo and stuff like that. I think they don't know what the fuck we're talking about as far as the politics and stuff like that. It's even with media too, like what Ack was saying. Like when y'all get to start talking about gang politics and shit like that, I don't know what you guys are talking about. You know what I mean? But I think it's just more so a relatable thing, though. You know what I mean? Like it's a relatable thing too, and just producing beats and I think it has to do with a lot though. But I think we could get over the hump, though. You know what I mean? I can get over the hump, but I always want to see what everybody else feels like rather than me, because I'm just giving my opinion, a lot. So, I definitely need to go outside the box. But that's why you're here. That's why I wanted to ask you, and you've been over here for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to see what you think, you know what I'm saying, or what you thought. Yeah,
I do think it's like some of the music might be that where it's like super inside or not as relatable to the mainstream, and to the point of like Drake, what we were talking about earlier, is like he made music for the masses. He made he made music with the intention of living in your everyday life. You could listen to a Drake song as a woman or a man from pretty much anywhere and be like, oh, I've experienced, and then I'm talking about like maybe earlier Drake even, like heartbreak. I've experienced being in a relationship. I've experienced being in love. I've experienced the climb to success to some degree. Like those were general feelings that everyone could go through.
What about poverty?
Well, so I don't know that Drake experienced that in a way where he could speak to it.
I'm saying,
but also that might not be, that's a relatable feeling to some people. Might not be relatable.
That's a big feeling. That's a big feeling around the world. Poverty. Yeah. But Drake ain't. Man, I don't know. I was just asking because you've been from.
But is that why you go to his music to listen to? About poverty?
No, we're saying relate to everybody. I'm just saying like, let's not leave out poverty, because poverty.
But you can't be the #1 rapper without having experienced poverty.
I didn't say that. I'm asking.
I'm asking.
Oh, you asking? Okay.
Yeah.
Can you? Clearly, you can. Shit.
I don't.
Clearly, you can. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that's. I feel like maybe where that strength come from. You know what I'm saying? When a nigga get knocked on his ass, maybe it came from that poverty.
Yeah.
Maybe it came from that poverty. Yeah, I don't go to Drake for that. I go to Drake strictly for radio records and club music. That's it. I don't look for no depths of the streets or poverty from him. Man, what you gonna make that make these bitches shake ass, or what I could dedicate to a bitch or fuck a bitch to? That's it. It's
wop,
like,
wop. They shaking ass out here.
That was crazy when I first saw that.
They shaking ass right there.
I first saw women twerk to Not Like Us. I was like, oh, that's what I saw.
Hey, listen. It's like, I can't explain it, but it's like, all right, for sure.
Tell me your experience in Canada, though, while you was out there, because you heard Not Like Us being played.
Yeah, so it was really interesting. I was at a place called the Drake Hotel. It wasn't, to my knowledge, it's not owned by Drake, but they have like a nice rooftop, and then downstairs they have a club. And we were sitting there. My girl's from LA too. She's from South Central Inglewood, so she rides hard for Kendrick. Like that's her guy too. So she'd always joke about like me being like, oh, like you're losing. I'm like, I'm a Kendrick fan too. I'm just trying to be unbiased here. But so we're out there, and I hear kind of like, They Not Like Us, but it was over a different beat. It was kind of like a mix, a mashup.
Yeah.
And then I hear it, and it's probably a minor, and I was like, oh no, we're in Toronto, and they're playing Not Like Us. They're playing that part. They're not just playing the hook. And then the next transition, it went from like a mini West Coast beat into Marvin's Room. And I'm like, this going from Not Like Us to Marvin's Room is the craziest transition I've ever heard.
That's actually crazy.
I heard that. We did hear that though. I did hear that too. Like, that's why we said one security. Like they said, there's a lot of Not Like Us being played out there. Well, but that's what we heard. A lot of Not Like Us was being played out there, but like we wasn't going to play it out there. But I heard
you didn't have it in the opening DJ set.
Hell no. I think that's nasty. I think that whatever come with that shit. And to me, like I said, like my whole mission, making it back home to the kids, we all got that same mission. So, and when you put playing that song on there opposed to just getting back to, like,
you're
at least way out, so it's over. Don't worry about that.
You're instigating a little bit.
Yeah, it's like you are instigating. I know that.
Yeah.
It's over. Don't worry about it. We gone.
But I will say I think the difference between LA and we got to remember too, like Canada and Toronto, hip hop isn't core and central to the culture there. Hip hop is core to the culture of a lot of LA. Where Kendrick is LA just as much as he is hip hop. He's Compton just as much as he is hip hop. I don't think hip hop and Toronto are as tied together. So there's a lot more casual, like, you have to come to America to make it to go back to Canada, right? Drake came here. He had a song with Trey Songz on BET, and that was his big break. Yeah. Then he brought it back to Canada. He went to Houston and brought it back to Canada, to some of Kendrick's point. But the point being, there's a lot more casualness in the fandom, whereas here, I feel like it's tied together. I'm talking to people like, they are like so happy that Kendrick won this battle. They're like, it feels like a championship. You walk around, you hear the song everywhere. You're in Toronto, I'm talking to people, and they're like, yeah, I like Kendrick too. You know what I mean? Like, I like Drake, I like Kendrick. It's not really as tied one to one.
So that's what I was saying for as like what we putting on the table of what to lose. Just think about what he gained, and now think about it not being here now.
Yeah, this the home of beefs now. So think about this the home of beefs, man. We beef. We born beefing, from gang culture to whatever. You know what I mean? Street football, we beef with everything. So with rap, we took that like. Shit, all the rappers, all our great rappers from here have gotten great legendary beefs.
Yeah, that's deep. I'm gonna get.
You know what I mean? So that shit is just in us, bro. That's in us.
Crazy.
Born to beef.
Yeah, we born to beef. That's what we do.
We raised in.
No, yeah, I ain't gonna.
We raised in. Even if you're beefing with your cousins, your family, like you said.
Everybody kind of like color coordinated, like especially like 80s and 90s. You really like it don't even matter. They wear red. They wear blue. Like I couldn't even wear red. Like when I was little, it was just like shunned upon.
Bro, from our colors to like our schools, our elementaries we went to. Oh, you went to elementary? Oh, you was a bitch. Or you know what I mean? To what city you from? You from the IE? Oh, you ain't like, we beef. That's what we beef with. Anything, bro. Like the smallest shit.
Yeah, for
we
real.
beef. So it's like, we're seeing like somebody, one of our own from Compton, go at the biggest nigga in rap and win. Hell yeah, we gonna glorify that. That's us.
I love it. I ain't even from Compton. Shit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, but you,